Welcome to Randomvivor Season 10 All-Stars Randomvivor Rewind. We are back after fuck knows how long. Yeah, welcome. We got the final four with us here today. I'm too poor to buy $90 premium, so Pina and Anna are sharing a mic.
Yo.
Hi.
Ross, I think we need to restart the podcast. I blinked when you started it.
Guess what? No pictures shown. Let's go. Anyways, let's get into this. I am not sitting here for 4 hours. All right. So, 24 people, 4 tribes, 4 elements.
I feel like first we talk about like the casting process because obviously this is the best of the best. Why did certain people not make it?
So this is how this started, and this is kind of okay. So I started planning casting for this back during season 5, probably. I had a list of people I wanted for second chance, and a list of people I wanted for All-Stars. Sometimes they would commingle. Sometimes they wouldn't. Sometimes someone ends up on the second chance list because they applied for second chances, despite the fact that they were already on the All-Stars list, and because of that, we had people on the hosting team who were playing All-Stars, and it would look really fucking suspicious if we couldn't cast them. I
do have the chart, or like the Google Doc we made.
Yeah.
I want to say it was during season 7 that we
So I actually was going through my Google Drive recently, and I saw one I made during season 5.
Which I want to see if everyone here was on that for. Actually, no, I can confirm not because I don't know why I said fucking. I was gonna say fucking Peanut.
I was gonna say we had 2 alternates, but yeah.
Yeah,
I'm an alternate.
Well, that was one of the things I was gonna bring up. Is it's very important to discuss the casting process, as 2 of our final 4 were alternates for.
Yeah.
So Anna can thank Arceus dropping from the season with like 2 days left before it started. And who the fuck got for Beau again? I don't remember.
Jackson,
that's right.
The
Jackson
Broadway guy.
I love Jackson.
That's right. Jackson wanted to go be a teacher.
Well, no. I think it was Maxwell that dropped.
Oh,
No, you're right. It was Maxwell.
Because Jackson. Well, I think what it was Jackson was the planned alt, and then I think there was some like pregame issue where Beau was less of a crossover problem.
No, it wasn't that. It was Jackson was our original plan to ask for as an alt, and then Jackson said no because Jackson wanted to go be a teacher instead.
Who would do that?
But hold on, I'm trying to find my original.
Well, I think season 5 is interesting because I don't think any of our planned people from season 5 said yes. Because a few of our winners missed, namely Stiffy, Roan, and then we said Maxwell. Thomas, I think, just like died, never got back to us. Ark said no, which is why he then played in the Mythvivor Battle of the Orbs or whatever.
Wasn't Thomas originally planned to be cast on second chances?
I think
Thomas was an alternate for second chance, and we tried to get him, and he would not fucking answer his DMs for the life of him. I still haven't heard from him. It's been almost a year. I haven't heard from him once since.
He's been
R.I.P. Thomas.
College.
We hardly knew
you. Fucking nerd.
Yeah.
I will say we had to cut Kale because she wanted to host instead, which I think changes the whole season.
Yeah.
And you had to cut Peanut because he wanted to host. Don't forget that.
Yes, but like you like during season 9, you're like, hey, I want to play this no matter what. Unless I win, I will not play All-Stars.
Yes,
this is true.
And you got sniped like fucking 9.
You did say that, and that's why we added you almost immediately.
Yeah. But I think Kale is like the real massive question. Like I think everyone else they might have a small impact in the season. I think Kale is the best to never
original list that I found.
For us.
Oh, here it is, returnees. Here it is. I found it.
It's either Kale or Samo.
I made this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think Kale is the best to never win, period. Debatably, I think Sam had a better game.
Oh no, this is the one you're into. Hold on, this isn't the right one.
Actually, on my rankings, and I don't know how much credit you take this into, But out of my top 10, I have Samo, Niki, Nicole, and all ahead of Kale in my all-time rankings, ironically.
Oh wow, thanks.
Nicole is definitely up there.
This is
I think
after All-Stars, so Niki's All-Stars game is accounted into it.
that's fair. I do think like Niki and Samo are basically fighting for that winner spot in season 7.
Yeah.
And neither one.
No.
Yeah.
Maxwell sweep.
Ugh. Sorry.
Be nice to them.
Maxwell is great. Maxwell friended me on Facebook this week.
Hell yeah.
Awesome. They lent me their Peacock account for Trader Season 2. It was
Fuck, dude, I love Maxwell so much.
They also made a really funny musical. I wish it got like an actual official release. Like sound.
Maxwell donated me a kidney.
Oh. Damn.
I went and saw the musical on Broadway. You know what? That was off Broadway, and that was really, really great. So I cannot find this thing that I found the other day to save my life. Maybe it never existed to begin with. Maybe I'm crazy.
Maybe it's not that important.
Are you looking for a dog without me? 'Cause I'm just
Maybelline.
looking at the one that we made together.
Yeah, exactly. And I found that one. I was like, I thought that was it, but no. I saw it the other day. Maybe I could just saw one. Probably my history.
Okay. So I want to ask y'all as like returning players. 'Cause I think, Beau. I want to start with Beau because I think you're the only person here who played Second Chances and All-Stars, unless I'm mistaken. So like, what was that? What was that?
The only
revamp
person
for?
here for sure.
Yeah.
Well, Second Chances was a very fun game that I did very poorly in because I just had no concept of threat level. And so then coming from that pretty much right into All-Stars, I feel like the break was not very short.
I think it was
So it's just like
a month and a half, maybe.
Yeah, exactly. So I was just real cognizant of like a lot of the mistakes that I had made and was very actively trying to counteract them. A lot of the times when I play orgs these days, I'm like, oh, this is just for fun. And that's kind of what Second Chances was. Like I wasn't really
Okay, so
trying to do everything my best, but All-Stars, I was like, I really got to lock in. And I kind of did.
So I was wrong about what this was. This is actually Second Chance. So one episode off on that one.
Nice.
But I mean, I guess we could go through that too if you guys want, or do you want to just skip that?
Yeah. Well, even in the document we currently have, we have names that are highlighted for Second Chance versus saving for All-Stars.
Yeah, because
Like-
we made that in between. Yeah, before either of them happened. Yeah.
I just wanted to ask, like, Niki, Lola. Actually, yeah. So starting with Niki and Lola, because both of y'all got the personal invites. There was no app. There wasn't like, we want you. Did you come into this season with a certain mindset or like scared of anybody that you could have marooned with?
Go ahead, Lola.
Oh, thank you. So the funny thing about getting an All-Stars invitation, well, at least for me, was that Randomvivor Season 7 was my second Survivor org ever.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like really confused why I got an All-Stars spot.
Okay, so is now the time I tell you that immediately after the season ends, Adelaide came to me and was like, all right, Lola for All-Stars?
Oh.
No,
that
I
makes sense.
genuinely, I think that you played one of the most dominant social games I've seen in Randomvivor. Like, because I think you were idled out or some shit in your season.
It was
And
like a 4-3 or something vote. I got 7.
It was very
They needed a massive move to take you out because you were like, even though I know that you can like get in your head about like, oh, like, am I playing well? Everyone liked you, like to the point that I think everyone would have been. You were basically in a JT position of like, yeah, I don't want to vote her out. She's great. Like, what's the problem? You managed to make it to Final 7 with 2 alliances running the game, and I was like, yeah, she's cool.
Yeah, I wasn't either of them. I wasn't able to make that, and I feel like that's sort of like rooted in my All-Star game, but I don't know. I kind of went into that season with the expectation of like, oh yeah, I'm gonna be the underdog in like a sea of champions, because I always do that. I'm always going to see myself as just like the small fish in the big pond. But you know, I did pretty all right for myself. So I guess I proved myself wrong.
And Niki obviously going from alternate for a captain season to one of the best losing games ever, handpicked for All-Stars. How did it feel coming in?
Yeah, I think this was my second All-Stars org I ever played, and whenever I get invited for any time a second chance, it's all just for funsies. So I came in knowing that it was likely to be my last org for a very, very long time, and I was just here for fun. The one person I didn't want to play with is Dennis, and Dennis was on the cast. So that was rough for me just because Dennis was a very good friend of mine, and I know that he and I take the games very personally, but we were able to be okay somewhat. But yeah, I loved it. It was so much fun. Like I always say, Randomvivor was my favorite orgs I've ever played. So it's always like 4 times a charm.
Yar. And then Anna, I believe, filled out an application to fill for the season.
No, there was no apps for this season. You're thinking your second chance.
Alternate.
She was kind of always our female alternate idea. Ironically replaced Arceus, who's not a female.
The reason why we chose Anna to replace Arceus is they practically had the exact same pre-games. The only difference being, I think, Lindsay, and even then.
The other reason we liked having Anna as the alternate is we knew she'd say yes. If
the other reason,
it was 5 minutes until cast reveal, she would say yes. So it's like
I'm a people pleaser.
Yar.
Yeah, ruin your own mental health for our own enjoyment. Don't worry, we've all been there.
So obviously you are married to one of the hosts. Did you have any like ideas or knowledge coming in, or were you like truly blind? Like I have no idea who the fuck is gonna be here.
Oh yeah, I had no idea. I'm a really, really awful spectator. For orgs, like people would be like, "Come spec me," and I'm like, "Okay," and then I don't. So the only people I had awareness of were people from my original, season 5 and then season 7. So I was like, oh yeah, some of them could be there, which there were, decent season 7 people. So that was dope. But yeah, I was just like, I'm here for fun. Let's play an org.
Yar. Did y'all have any fun notes before we jump into the actual season itself?
I would love to ask, though. I know that we will, and I think we talked a little bit about this, but we will split into tribes of elements because Avatar, obviously, and you said there was a reason for that, and I never know why I was on Earth because I disagree with it because I'm a fucking fiery bitch, and I'm like, why am I on Earth with a bunch of these people? But I just didn't know if you wanted to talk about that.
So I think Ross can fact check me. I think in planning, I wanted to do very heavy theming and realized it was really difficult to do with balancing winners and pre-game issues. So I kind of scrapped it. Except for the Fire Tribe.
For a while when we announced the tribes split, people were thinking, oh, the Fire Tribe's totally the villain tribe, but then we had fucking Kara, who is literally one hero in season 2.
The issue was literally okay, so here I gotta find the fucking cast
we
list
talked about heroes were air. I don't remember what water was. Pots was earth.
Well, it's I think looking at the starting cast, Dennis, Silver, Snowy, you are centering the biggest villains that we get, and I think. I wouldn't call Gem a villain, but I think that she can have a very domineering gameplay style, which I think
I'm shocked she's never had a villain arc here, and this was the closest we got.
I think that she fits in well with the tribe dynamics, and then obviously you mentioned Kara was kind of just where do we put this because with playing 2 seasons previously,
we could have put her with water because you have fucking both Felicity and Colin.
Yeah.
Can't really put her. I mean, we could put her on air, I guess. Nope, Aiden.
Yeah, and then with Earth, you have Emma.
Yeah. So it's just we couldn't really put her anywhere else. Even then, Silver was debatable because, again, they played both seasons together.
The biggest reason for the original tribes was to avoid pre-games.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah.
Except for Fire, which I wanted to be like the villain striker. I feel like I haven't seen enough orgs lean into
I will say we did drop the ball in one pregame that we didn't know was coming.
Which free game is that?
Never in our fucking life did we know how close that Listy and Colin became after season 4 of Randomvivor.
Yeah.
They got extremely close and we had no idea, and the season started and they were like immediately tied at the hip. There was like nothing we could do about it at that point.
Damn. I thought that I always considered Water to be just like the social gamer tribe, since everyone's just vibing and having a good time and just being talking.
You guys are my favorite
Agreed.
tribe at the start of the game, if that gives you any kind of credence.
Well, Earth was born.
Well, thank you.
I will say that did not last the whole game, but
Yeah.
Hey, Water had 2/3 of the final tribal. They did great.
yeah, they did
I was
great.
the only off
They
at
also made
launch.
me really regret ever hosting anything.
Yeah, we really wiped the Earth and Air tribes out. We were like, they're not allowed to play.
Ouch.
I do have one last question for everybody. Obviously, if we sent you the invite, you saw like the image. Did you have a guess coming into the season what the theme was before we announced it, and did you have any like expectations or predictions for twists?
I knew nothing about Avatar.
I'm gonna be honest with you. If you know anything about Avatar and couldn't guess what the theme was based off the image I sent, then you know nothing.
Oh,
about
Emma knew it immediately, and I'm like, God damn it!
Yeah, I kind of overdid it with that one, but you know.
No, I didn't. I don't know anything.
Yeah, I was an alternate. I never saw this image.
Yeah, you didn't
Oh
see the
yeah,
image.
I'm looking at the
Wait, what
image right
image?
now. Absolutely not. Absolutely.
What
not.
image is this? Hold on, I forget.
Yeah, send the
Pretty much
image.
Everyone,
Ross, find it.
everyone
Oh,
that
the
knew
image.
was,
Pose
oh my
the
god,
image.
Avatar.
I got you.
Wait, hold on. Let me go look at what Emma's reaction was.
I was like, so while we're doing this, we already talked about it, so I want to go to Beau first. Starting tribes, what did you think of the people that you were saddled with?
I kind of thought I was boned, not gonna lie.
We'll get into
Because-
that. We will absolutely get into that.
Because Dennis voted me out in season 6, Jem voted me out in season 9. Kara and I have played like 4 times, and I voted her out, and she's voted me out. And then Snowy and I had played a game before, and he had voted me out. So Silver was like the only one I hadn't played a game with that hadn't voted me out. Literally 4 of the 5 other members have voted me out.
That's the image.
Yeah, that's very clearly Avatar.
Yeah,
Oh,
Um,
I was at
I
the
did not
image.
try to
I
hide
had
it
no
at
idea.
all.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I got on Fire Tribe and I thought I was just screwed. Just because of how how I've played with basically everybody except for Silver. And then we started playing and Silver also wanted me out. So I was like, oh my God, I'm about to be first boot from this 24-player All-Star game. I was so sad. Luckily it turned around. Well, for me, luckily. Sorry, Silver.
Niki, you barely survived the decimation of the Earth tribe.
Yeah. Yeah, I was the last one. And I'm looking at the tribe now. I didn't know anyone except for Britt. And Britt and I will never played together at all in our previous season at all. So I didn't know anyone. So I thought I was screwed because I knew I'm good friends with a bunch of other people on the cast, but no one on my tribe. And yeah, I was the last off, and I got closest probably with Shell or Emma, but even then, it was none of them lasted. So, rip.
I feel like Air Kingdom is pretty unremarkable because they are. I think they were the first tribe to be fully eliminated.
It's really ironic that the Air tribe got genocided.
Yeah, Air Nomads got fucked.
No.
For the record,
Their final player was Will, wasn't it?
Oh,
I think it was.
Yeah.
Well, here's the
And-
thing, and this is honestly my biggest sadness with this entire season is that Aiden couldn't go on to get 5th a third time. But
We just he gets 23rd on Legends.
I wanted to play with Aiden too. I was sad.
It was sad, but
I'm angry that Bell died.
we started this while he was on a
Yeah.
camping trip. He couldn't recover, and yeah, that's pretty much how it went.
Anna and Lola, y'all marooned together. What was your vibes with the Water Tribe?
It was cool. I enjoyed it. I was just chit-chatting with everybody. I remember really being excited that I was on a team with Wonder, because I think Wonder's amazing and awesome. And, you know, I think it kind of was just the start of being like, God, I hope Wonder thinks I'm cool. And then Licity was someone who I also got pretty close with at the start. I was getting to know Colin and Andrew pretty well. And, like, funnily enough, I think the person I was connected to the least was Anna.
Yeah. Yeah. Which is funny because we literally played season 7.
Yeah.
But then we played the whole game together. I mean, we played all of Allstars. Like, we were on the same tribe the whole time.
We were. It was a weird journey for the two of us.
It was. It was very back and forth. Yeah, I mean the starting, which we'll obviously probably get into later, are more of our relationship. But yeah, I mean Water was we were vibing. I got close to Licity and Colin, you know, pretty much right away. I was very like tight with them. So Colin walking really fucked my shit up.
We will get into that as well.
Yeah. But like, yeah, no, it was a good time. Yeah, I feel like we all were definitely, like y'all said, like we were very social people. So it was not boring on that tribe.
Yeah, Oath was so boring. No one talked to me. Like, it didn't feel like I was playing an org. I remember being like, why is everyone so quiet? And the minute we switched tribes, I was like, thank goodness people actually talk again.
A quick note about that first Water Tribal Council at Final 22. There was a brief moment where Licity brought up the idea of a 3-2-1 on Lola, which would have
What the fuck?
Fuck that.
That would have been so sad.
What did I do to her?
It just was she acknowledged you as a super social player, and it would have been Anna, Colin, and Licity voting you with 2 on Andrew and 1 on Colin.
Look, I've always said it. Licity is one of the best players in random history.
Yeah.
Without question. First off, her original season, yeah, she had the advantage with the ult. I admit that. But at the same time, she still played a fantastic game, even under that. And then throw that in with then her season 4 game where she came back and nearly won again.
I tried to throw for her. Silver wouldn't let me.
Gosh.
Yeah, Silver said, nah, you ain't winning twice, but we will get a second season 2 winner.
So I want to break down a little bit. So Ross and I, like a month ago now, made a list for top 10 Randomvivor moments ever. We'll probably do that podcast if we find the time. A moment that I championed so hard is Beau's winner story of first boot Survivor to Soul Survivor.
The thing is, it's not a moment. And that was
I think it's insane.
It's
an hour.
Thank you, Adelaide. Thank you.
An hour before
that shit.
Your ass was going home. You were set. Everyone was locked in. And then you messaged Jem and you're like, hey, I'm not ready to go. And you kick shit into gear, which is like, I think we can only respect it because we are here seeing it all the time. If it was on the actual show, I'd been like, oh, whatever, flip the vote, whatever. You pulled this shit around. And like this is definitively like a game-winning move of going from the bottom to the top.
Yeah.
Instantly.
In round 1. Yeah.
Yeah. It was
we had a trio of was it Dennis, Snowy, and Silver?
Yes.
And that flip that you pulled off on them was insane.
Technically, from what I remember, there were 2 trios. So it was Silver Snowy Dennis, and then also Silver Snowy Kara. And
That does sound familiar, actually. Yes.
yeah, so I mean, that was probably one of my best rounds of any org I've ever played. Just getting Gem on my side and then convincing Kara, because I know that the other 3 had already made parchments that had my name on it. And so once I got Kara, then Dennis was like, "Well, I'm not going to go to Rocks for this."
No.
And then I got all.
If you guys went to round 1, if you guys did round 1 Rocks, this really would have cemented. This would have pushed All-Stars up my rankings, I think.
Wow.
That would have been insane, but I don't think Dennis would go to Rocks for anybody ever.
No, absolutely not.
And so yeah, that was a very fun round to play, and really like I'll give so much of the credit to Gem for like queuing me in and like letting me know who I needed to go talk to. Because then at some point I think I even told Snowy, and I was like, "Hey Snowy, I'm voting for Silver." Or I told him that I had heard my name was out, and he was like, "Oh, yeah, no, if you don't want to go, well, who do you want to vote then? Dennis?" And I was like, "Nah, I'm not going to vote Dennis. I'm going to vote Silver because Silver's the main one pushing my name." And he was like, "Oh, what?" And then we all voted Silver. I think Snowy sold his vote, so I only had 1 vote from Silver, and then the rest of them, yeah, were on Silver. So that was one of my favorite rounds of gameplay I've ever had. And yeah, it worked out from first boot to final tribal.
Wow.
And I think we can get into it more. I'm gonna step out for a second and let Ross take over again. But I think that is truthfully like the only interesting round we have until merge. I think our pre-merge.
There was another round this in this season that I championed for to be on this list, but it didn't make it, sadly.
Yeah, it's just I just think our pre-merge is very like, oh, here's a player on the bottom, we take him out. Even like once we get to swap, fucking.
We got one though that we all unanimously agree most robbed. I think one of the most robbed in Randomvivor history, honestly.
Yeah.
From this pre-merge, but
obviously Andrew, our king.
Right? Yeah. Totally.
Well,
It could have been me.
I think the dynamics once we get to Bossing Say / Caldera it really revs up the pre-merge, but before that, yes, everything else is just kind of trimming the fat. Even unfortunately, Emma, that round, one of our historical greats on Randomvivor's course, but this season she just wasn't active because of personal things. So, all the way through the Blood Metal and Lightning tribes, it was a little bit of a slog after the silver vote.
I mean,
I'm sorry, Emma. I'm sorry.
But I got to meet my friends. I got to meet my new friends, Beau and Gem.
Yeah.
You hit that.
I love
that round though. And
I love the Blood Tribe.
Blood Tribe was good.
Oh,
Blood Tribe ran that game. Y'all don't even know.
Blood Tribe was fire.
no, it was Blood.
It's not fire. It's
Just to touch on some of the other tribals, and I'm sorry, I know Adelaide wanted to hand this off to Ross, but before we move on, just to touch on that air tribal, Fimi was playing up to be a big player in the game until he got caught with his pants down at that round, and that's kind of how Aiden got stuck, because Aiden was less active, and the only person really fighting for him was Fimi.
Yeah.
So ended up giving up his vote, got like a hell of extra votes, and then had to put them all.
Thus began the fall of old school.
Rip. And that old school, new school thing, like, I didn't know it was intentional if it was by some people. I just learned I was new school like halfway through that game.
So the only reason why I even split you guys up is because we had our first returnee season in season 4.
Mm-hmm.
And they're all pre-season 4.
Well, people were saying that like we were doing it intentionally, and I'm like, what?
No, we were honestly at that point I was just fucking around. It was never intentional. You know what it was? It was kind of like that whole old school, new school thing, like Survivor Winners at War. That kind of
It was less intentional than like season 5 hating women.
Yes.
Yeah, all right, sure. We'll go with that. So let's see here. Where are we at? I guess we're on round 2 now.
Yeah. Well, again, I think we can just also for the sake of time and brevity, I think we can consolidate a lot of the pre-merge.
Yeah,
Even like
we can go
pre-swap.
round by round for the pre-merge. Honestly,
Yeah, I think nothing really stands out. I do think that the Femi vote is interesting for the sake of the fact that we haven't.
Idols this season, though.
Yeah, we haven't talked about the idol hunt at all.
Yeah, let's. So, Pina, you.
Yeah.
With that, you want to go do that?
The pre-merge idol hunt was all based upon currency and the shop. It took people a little bit of egging to figure out parts of this. And,
Okay. Now that it's over, I'm about to head over to my brother's new house. Closed on.
Ultimately, both idols were found pre-merge, one by Jem and the other by Dennis.
Mhm.
By getting to the shop, purchasing a specific tea, which was actually cheap, and then going on to give half of that idol to someone, and they had to be on the same tribe in order to transfer it back and create the full idol. So Jem got her half and gave it to Belle, who gave it to Wonder. And then Jem got her full idol at merge. Dennis found his half, gave his other half to Kara because Dennis actually found it after they swapped.
Mhm.
And then Kara gave it back to Dennis at the Caldera swap. And Dennis hung on to it for a while after that. But that's how the pre-merge idols worked. The shop also had a bunch of other trinkets like steal of votes, safety without power, some extra votes, some other disadvantages, all different costs in the shop. We kind of juke people out with those costs. It was fun from a host standpoint.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Anna, can you go season 10 podcast spreadsheet?
Mhm.
In fact, I think we're good to move past the first 3 tribals and get into the swap tribes, blood, metal, lightning. I think we already started talking about them, right?
A little bit.
We really only sprinkled reward challenges into Randomvivor a few times before this season. We had actually a lot of opportunities for rewards because of the options for earning coins and stuff like that. And this swap brought the first one, which was the math or trivia reward challenge. So that's interesting. Does everyone remember what they picked?
Nope.
I think didn't almost
Math.
every single person pick math.
I picked the puzzle one, I think.
I think.
A lot of
I
people.
distinctly remember picking the one with the puzzle or the Ken because I was doing it at work.
Yeah, because I remember doing the math and then doing the trivia afterwards and realizing how fucking easy it was and being angry.
The math. Yes.
I'm pretty sure.
7 people picked the season trivia. Everyone else picked math. Anna is the only person on this call that picked the trivia.
I'm not-
Lucky.
Didn't Fimi do that fucking math problem in 3 minutes?
There was a behind the scenes issue. He got the same puzzle twice on the website we were using, and so he submitted a previous answer.
Wait, but he still got it?
There was I'm trying to remember exactly what the puzzle was, but yes, he was able to get to the complete. I'd have to go back and look at what the puzzle was to remember exactly why we counted it. But yeah, there was a loophole he found.
I remember because I remember him getting that 3 minutes and being like, "I'm terrified of this guy. I don't want to fight him in a merge or anything because he's so good at math puzzles." And then he died.
Yar.
The same round.
He was too strong. He was too good at math.
I do have a question for the 3 finalists. You all were on blood. So we kind of already touched on it a little bit, but what was it like being on that tribe? And I mean, you basically made probably the most important alliance of the season with the Blood Tribe, except Emma and Lindsay.
Trying to think.
From my perspective, I think that I got on really well with everybody on Blood. So, like even Lindsay, I was I was in multiple alliances with Lindsay. So I was pretty Blood loyal, probably more so than I was Fire loyal. Like the only person I was more loyal to than just the Blood Tribe overall was Jem.
Yeah, I feel like the Blood Tribe was just really strong overall.
Blood Tribe was really strong. Yeah, I like to think. Well, because we had a lot of water people, right? It was Licity, Colin, you, myself. The only person that we didn't have was Wonder.
Oh, listening.
I think that was Bossing Say.
Yeah.
Oh
Blood
shit!
Tribe?
Oh fuck! My bad.
Oh my
Oh
Yeah.
god, I am bad at reading charts. It was Jem, it was Kara, it was Lindsay, it was Emma. Okay, yeah, that makes more sense. My bad.
Oh yeah, even Kara.
Yeah, it's been a while.
It's been a year.
It's been
It's
been
been
a
a
year.
year. But yeah, it was us, and then I was really happy with Blood because that kind of like helped me get in with Beau and Jem, who ended up being very, very important to me. And then Anna, of course, we had our strange journey. Kara, I got along with, but I didn't really wasn't able to connect with that much. And Lindsay, I just could not get on her good side, unfortunately. I think we just didn't click, and it was so sad.
The boot that upset me the most from this tribe, I think we all know the answer to this one. You guys did Emma dirty.
We did.
Oh, I mean, the counterpoint is that Emma was pushing for Lola to go. So.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I felt kind of bad, but also I didn't want it to be me. So
Fair
I do
enough.
think part of the problem as well is I think when her boot was happening, Julian was visiting, and she was taking naps. And I will say, I think she defends herself as well, being like, "Oh, no one was talking to her." Like she felt very. Are you guys aware of the Mean Girls Alliance?
the what?
Okay, this is I think this isn't like important to the season, but an image that was pushed a lot to us. I think it was Britt made like an edit after her boot of basically that tribe, like was basically you four and then Licity.
No,
it wasn't me.
It was Beau, Jem, Licity, and Colin were the Mean Girls Alliance.
Oh, you're talking about Hiss. Yes, Hiss, the Mean Girls Alliance.
Yes,
yeah.
That I think Emma had a similar reaction of just couldn't penetrate y'all very well. I was basically working top down, cutting all the fat, really.
Okay, I feel like maybe Emma was my move, and it was partly because I wanted to protect Lola, and then partly because I was kind of anti-winner, and I was like, I want to get as many winners out before merge as possible. So Emma was like by herself, and I was like, let me just snipe that real quick. Because I just felt like she would be able to make more friends down the line, like easily.
No. She undoubtedly got swap screwed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not even that, because she wasn't even doing that well on Earth, if I remember correctly.
No.
Like, she also, like, I feel like she could have picked up pace in the game if she made it further. But, alas, was not meant to be. So, yeah. R.I.P. Emma.
Right.
And then I think as well the Fimi and the Shell votes are pretty unremarkable.
Both, yeah. While Fimi wasn't inactive, Fimi was untrustworthy, and having the 3 extra votes didn't help.
I think the Shell vote was hard for me because Dennis really wanted to keep Shell, and Dennis and I were very, very close. And I I was like, Dance, we're not doing this. And that was the first instance of that he got upset with me. But I found my dream duo with Sarah and Will. Obsessed with those people, still am. And that was my happy little group, my little trio was those that I met all on Lightning.
Well, that's kind of the same question we asked about Blood. You know, yeah, your tight core was on like Sarah might have met early.
Yeah, and it was sad because it was none of them. I was like, bye, Shell, and that was easy. And I didn't connect well with Colin, really.
So, we talked a little bit about the Bossing Say tribe kind of just being like this really close, tight-knit group. After the Blood, Metal, and Lightning tribes, each tribe picked a representative to participate in a challenge, and those representatives ended up... sorry, how did this work out? How did they pick the tribes?
Lola was the hero.
And
Yeah,
Snowy
so
was
there were 3 pickers. It was Lola, Snowy, and then I forget who our last person was.
No, it was just 2. It was just 2.
Right.
It was
for
just
the hero
2. We had a
challenge.
challenge to decide who won immunity, and I got first, Snowy got second, Licity got third. So Licity was kicked out of that like hero chat or whatever. So it was just Snowy and I, and then we were just told that we were going to be drafting the new tribes. And we could have done it live, but I think we ended up like drafting it in advance, so we didn't have to worry about it.
So I do think you approached it very well. Of hey, let's not get into the drama in public. Let's have like a calm discussion, just you and us. No one else gets to be a part of it. That way, we can be on better terms come the merge.
Yeah, I had a feeling that Snowy is a big personality, and I did not want to mess with. I didn't want to start beef with Snowy. Ultimately, I think him and I were at different points in the game. We wanted different people on our tribes, and I think we settled it pretty diplomatically. The one issue was Wonder, because we both really wanted Wonder on our team. And so our compromise was whoever had someone voted out in their selection, because there was still a tribal going on, they would get Wonder. And so, admittedly, in hindsight, it probably wasn't a good idea to leave someone who I really wanted on my team up to a coin flip and then lost that coin flip. But I don't know. That's just what I wanted to do at the time. I really didn't want to piss off Snowy, being like, no, I want Wonder on my team. That's oomph.
Yeah.
Okay, we can move on. So
I liked how the tribe shook out, just saying.
Yeah, thank you. I made sure to get all my friends and also some other people.
Busting out.
So we go on to the next 2 tribes, which were
Bossing Saying Caldera,
Yeah.
which we stick with for a while.
We originally had a 3rd tribe in there, didn't we? Because we were originally going to do the Northern Water Tribe City. I forget the name of it, but
I think it was just that. I think it just worked better thematically to go 4-3-2 rather than a 4-3-3.
Yeah, I agree with that actually. So unfortunately, we lost. It was 2 people before merge, right? Am I remembering this wrong?
What, we lost what?
2 people before merge.
5.
5. That's what I'm thinking. This swap lasted a while. We had a relatively small merge.
Oh yeah, whoa, I was way off. Okay, so first off, we lost Becca.
It was so sad. We did not give that girl a chance.
So
Iconic puzzle chicken round.
Oh my god.
Oh.
Shout out Puzzle Chicken.
Attack. I had a panic attack.
The challenge that almost always gives.
Oh my god.
And then it was Nick that got voted out. Those first 2 were pretty clear votes. At the Becca vote, we had a lot of people actually not voting. because it was so clear. And Becca got really gaslit that round. I kind of feel bad for her. I don't think she knew she was going unanimously.
I think she did because she Carl botted her vote.
Oh, she
Yeah.
did?
I think Britt told her like towards the end.
The Nick vote, and Nikki could probably touch on this a little bit too, was pretty straightforward for that
Yeah.
trial.
It was very, because I was the only Oath person, and I'm like, here, let's just make this easy. Let's just vote for Nick. And I was like, let's just do that. So it was very easy. No one had really, I tried to stick with Nick, and Nick was being really nice and saying I was his number one. But yeah, no.
Rest in peace to Nick.
Yeah.
Second chance goat, absolute
Yes.
legend. Should have gotten more votes there, but hey, here we are.
This is where things really start to spice up, because every vote for the rest of pre-merge was spicy, in my opinion. First of all, Bossing Say had a clear vote after Becca went and Anna, because of the snakes comment, which kind of
Oh no!
So Anna told Lola that in a passing comment that everyone was snakes or something.
Yeah.
Lola went and told everyone, and then everyone banded against Anna, except Britt and Lindsay. And Anna ended up winning immunity.
Oh no!
Anyone want to speak to that round? Lindsay ended up going.
Oh, wait. No, this is... Okay, no, we're not there yet. Never mind. This is not the round.
Ultimatum?
It's
No.
later.
Okay.
There's one more.
I feel like we need to talk about Final 16, 15, and 14 all by themselves.
Yeah, I did feel kind of bad about the Lindsay thing. I feel like the way I chose my tribe, it generally was people that I wanted to work with. And, like, everyone else was just kind of backup options. Like, oh, it would be cool if, like, Lindsay wanted to work with me maybe in another reality. Oh, it'd be interesting if Britt wanted to work with me. And then you get to the point where you lose challenges and be like, well, I kind of have to vote someone out that I kind of wanted to work with. And it didn't end up working out in my favor. Yeah, that it was not a fun round.
Sorry, not sorry.
Listen, it's okay. I don't blame you. I really thought that I was Sherlock Holmesing it. I really thought that I was being a big genius, being like, wait, oh god, I gotta talk about this.
I had so many freaking VCs after that too. Like
The craziest thing to me, and this is from a spectator perspective, is that Anna had no idea how hot her seat was. It was like she was sitting on a block of ice over a fire.
I had no clue. Was this when the Hiss Alliance formed?
Yeah.
Wait, was I in that?
There's
Yes.
Sure I was.
Yes, you were in that.
I was in that.
Where's the picture?
Yeah,
Somebody
it was
find the.
Go to the
Yeah, it
The
was
Mean Girls
Beau
picture?
definitely called
It's pretty
Yeah.
great.
me. I
I mean,
also there.
honestly, I feel like that round worked out really well for you, Lola, because Lindsay was much more on your ass and would have continued to be, where Anna was not really against you. Like, yeah, you didn't even vote for Lola that round, right, Anna?
I had no vote that round.
You
like sold your vote or something.
You thought it was an easy Lola vote,
Yeah.
so you gave up your vote.
I did.
In fact, Anna even leaked the fake vote to Lola
Oh my god.
to make.
That's so great.
So the picture like that ended up getting published after was Beau, Colin, Gem, Licity, Lola.
It's a great picture.
It's honestly iconic. But I had
Wait, what picture? I need to see this picture. Hold on.
Hold on, I'm sending it. I had no idea that this was like going on. Like I didn't know I pissed that many people
Until after.
till I went through confessionals and I said, "Oh,
Well, after that round, but
well, at the end too." Yeah, but yeah.
do you guys have anything else? To
Oh,
say?
that's a good image.
It's a classic.
Yeah.
Hold on. Let me pull it up for the chat here. I was trying to take a screenshot of the ultimatum for when we get there, but unfortunately I can't find it. So we'll do the Mean Girls Alliance instead. There it is.
Yep.
Icons. Love it.
Yay!
So I'll
It's
just
in
do
my
this,
comp.
Ross, if it helps. So you can share your screen. So for the lovely viewers, if you want to share my screen below, they can get the full definition image.
Okay. 1 second. Let me pull it up on my Mac here, and we can do it that way. That works.
No, I'm saying literally. So in StreamYard, go below where everyone is, and you can see that I'm trying to share my screen.
Sorry, what are we doing? So I'm in settings. No, present.
No.
It's okay. What?
Okay, whatever. That's fine. Never mind.
We'll not do this.
Anyways.
Maybe next time you can teach me later.
Yes. Okay.
Before
So
this ends,
have we reached the ultimatum?
No.
Belle goes home.
Oh, we still got to talk about the Bell vote.
No, because Elbow needs its own segment.
Oh my god! Don't make me cry.
The Bell vote needs its own segment because we had Bell on Contenders every episode before this.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
This was the most blindsided boot I think the hosts have ever seen.
And I honestly am I must be having PTSD because I can't remember except that I sobbed. Like I remember like I was heartbroken and I think I had is this the org where I had the Bell Avengers and like all of my entire Till Mord was about avenging Bell? I think it was.
Let me go back.
You definitely did avenge Belle when we took out Snowy.
I had the Bell Avengers, yeah. So my goal was to just keep Belle's memory alive, and I can't remember what happened. Was this it when Dennis and Snowy got close?
Belle's Avengers is, Niki, Sarah, Wonder. You renamed it after Belle got cut.
Yep.
I'm gonna try and scroll back through everything.
Yeah, that was a really tough vote. I can't tell you why, but I was so upset, and I'm pretty sure it's because of Dennis. But I was completely blindsided.
I'm so confused by this fucking voting chart.
Alright.
I'm so sorry. I'm trying to multitask and I'm bad at it.
All right. Okay. Hold on. I don't want this taking 4 hours. We need to move this along. All right.
The ultimatum. Bum.
But we're not. Well, are we talking about the Bell vote at all or no? I think we need to like at least put out the fact that Bell was on Contenders every episode prior to this. And if we had someone here who could actually remember what happened, we'd go into more detail.
It's been so long. It's been 84
over
years.
Yeah.
I've had a kid since.
Oh my god, that really puts you into perspective.
You know, I hate to say it, but I don't know if people think you're joking.
We'll let them believe what they want to believe.
Let them believe.
Let them believe. All right. So let's move on to the ultimatum.
Another moment that I pitched for most iconic Randomvivor moment, unfortunately.
We considered it. It was in consideration.
I think I like again. It's kind of like
a better pitch from you than Beau's winner story.
Well, it's still kind of like the whole season because you have
less the whole.
And I want to hear Beau's perspective now because I was flipping my shit that no one brought it up during FTC.
Oh, I was losing my shit. I'm like,
Beau
if
was standing on principle.
If either Lola or Anna brings that up at FTC, you don't win, I don't think.
On principle, I was like, I will not play this game.
I don't know about that because I think my voters wouldn't have cared. I don't know. Maybe.
Jem would.
I just didn't want to. That was like kind of a vulnerable moment, and I didn't really want to like.
I mean,
exploit
me
that.
personally, if I see that as a juror, I don't vote for you. That's just me.
Jem was never voting for anyone else.
I'm-
But I think the other.
I'm
voters-
glad you weren't on this season then, Ross.
The
I
other
don't think
voter-
anyone's vote. I don't think anyone's vote changes to me after that. Except, wait, Anna, hold on. Would your vote have changed, or was? Because I don't remember if you knew that.
If I knew.
Yeah, if you knew.
I don't know. I honestly probably not. I still think I was. Well, I don't know because that's tough. I mean, I don't know. I was seen as a goat buddy, so who's to say?
Yeah.
I mean,
well, yes, we'll never know.
from my perspective, I was the one that told Anna that I had tried to get her voted out before anybody else did. So like, I owned up to the fact that I did it pretty quickly. I don't think I used like, "Hey Anna, I posted an ultimatum," because I don't even think I called it an ultimatum. That's just what other people called it.
I mean, you literally. Okay, in our defense about calling an ultimatum, you literally said, "Do this or I quit." You
I
put
didn't
it
say
in-
do this or I
searched
quit.
it up,
I
you
said,
put it in
I
your
said,
phone.
I just read it again, and I said, and what I said was, I would like Anna to go home, and if you guys don't want Anna to go home, I would like to step from the game. Like, it is an ultimatum in that sense, but I mean, I didn't even follow through with it, so it's not really an
No,
ultimatum.
you didn't, and you also put it in your comps that you're going to do the same thing. I did see that too when I was searching for it.
Yeah.
So yeah, ultimatum.
Well, okay. So for my context around why that happened, because there's a couple different things. I had gone on a trip to Chicago for like a weekend, and I basically didn't sleep the whole trip because it was an org meetup, and I was like just hanging out with a bunch of people. So I didn't sleep for like, I slept like 6 hours maybe over 72 hours. And then the ultimatum dropped the day after I came home, and I think that I was just like, I was really not, because it wasn't really that I was that upset at Anna. Like, I was upset, but I just wanted to keep Brit. So like, I just kind of laid it all on the line in like a last ditch effort to save Brit. And then when it didn't work, I kind of just folded immediately and was like, all right, cool. Okay, we'll vote out Brit. I don't care.
And in all honesty, Beau, I think that's part of where it works against you if it was brought up, because it's like, oh, you said you were going to quit if Brit went, and then you didn't quit. So it's like people could question your intent with doing it, as like a poor.
Right, yeah.
But neither of them. Well, first of all, Anna didn't know it was this deep, and Lola didn't bring it up because of personal reasons. So it makes sense.
Yeah.
And ultimately,
Lola was my friend, and not being like, hey, let me dig up his worst moment in the game.
Yeah, that's oomph. I'm not gonna be like, this is why Beau is a horrible person, and why I deserve all the money.
And in the long
term,
I deserve all the money is crazy because you get nothing for winning this game.
Beau got paid for the win, right?
Yeah, totally. Beau, you know what Beau got paid in? A really sick emote of him in drag with the crown.
Yep, that is true.
Like $5 on its own.
I made it an NFT and it's trending, so it's doing really well.
Hell yeah,
it's trending.
The meme coin is going strong. Beau.
Honestly, who's starting random coin? Let's go.
No.
Peanut pennies.
You're gonna end up like yo, peanut pennies. You're gonna end up like the Hawk to a girl.
Yeah. No, so that's actually funny, because if the very first round of the game was like one of my best rounds of gameplay ever, the ultimatum round was one of my worst rounds of gameplay ever, for sure. Because like, it wasn't even necessary. If I had just not been so wishy-washy and been like, oh, I want Brit to stay, and I kind of wanted Licity to go at that time anyway, so I should have just been like, hey, Brit, me, you, Anna, your extra vote, we're at least tying it. and I would have just probably gone really hard on trying to get Jem on my side to vote Listy out, which I don't know if Jem would have done, but I think if she knew that I was really heavily considering it, maybe.
Yeah, so maybe a big move could have been made, and ultimately, it didn't affect the game that much after that because you and Anna ended up getting close again in the merge, which we'll be talking about.
Yeah, and our relationship was definitely one of the biggest roller coasters of being like, all right, Anna's at the top, Anna's at the bottom, Anna's at the top of my trust, at the bottom.
And here we are.
You ended up
Who
voting
decided?
at Final Tribal.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I got her vote on Final Tribal, so some things, we're made by our failures and our successes, so
True.
it is what happened.
I think variety makes for a better winner too, because you were able to come over adverse moments like that to win the game in the end. So
A true underdog story from Beau, the guy who was winning the entire season the whole time.
well, to be fair, if Beau's ideal Final Tribal happened, Jem wins unanimously. So
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, I got saved. Well, first I got unsaved by Will's self-vote,
Oh my
and then I
god.
got saved again by Dennis's idol.
Yep.
well, I think this is a good time to move on.
Yeah.
Let's get past this. Let's merge.
Merge time.
Oh, Jay, we won!
We merged.
We added to the shop for advantages in the merge, and we added a couple more things. We added a new idol hunt, which I don't believe was actually tied into the shop. It was a different way to earn it. Famously requires if you.
Oh yeah, we had to get a vote against us to get the hunt.
Right.
Oh, that was so stupid.
There was the four tasks you had to complete, and then you had to get a vote against you in order to access the hunt. And that is why the first tribal, while easy, like 6 or 7 people received votes. So
Yep. Yep.
But I don't know if we really need to talk about this too much, but we had this whole idea for a kind of a nerfed knowledge is power to actually like be impactful on the game and not be overpowered. And then Wonder never played it, despite knowing where all the idols were.
Yep.
I mean, she didn't need it. She made it to Final 5 anyway.
Maybe she would have won.
No. Well, I was telling her everything. I told her.
Who's letting Wonder get to the end?
That's good. Niki?
Yeah, me. And I would make sure everyone else did.
I was considering it.
Y'all are wild. Y'all are wild for that.
To be fair, Wonder doesn't win if she gets to the end.
I mean, that is real, but there's no way to know that. Because,
in game,
yeah.
Way that know that the jury was unnecessarily better.
No idea why.
Yeah, and there wasn't even really good reasons for people to be bitter.
Yeah.
They just hate to see a girl boss winning.
Yep.
Who was bitter against Wonder? Was it? I know Jem and Dennis were.
Jem, Dennis, Licity pretty much said they just wouldn't vote for Wonder. Yeah. And then I just feel like people like Sarah and Will vote for other people instead of Wonder. It would have been a really unique combination, like Wonder, Dennis, and I don't know, Wonder,
Me.
Dennis. No, because I think Sarah votes for you over Wonder and Dennis.
Really? Over Wonder?
I think so.
Oh wow. I feel like I had a fight for Sarah's vote
in the jury phase, so it was hard to.
Oh, true.
But based on the active conversation, yeah, a lot of people didn't want to vote for Wonder, and I think some of it was like the 2-time winner stuff, like Licity didn't want to.
Yeah,
it wasn't her, and maybe I'm projecting on that, but
yeah.
Okay, can we talk more about the hunt though? Because I never actually asked what it was. What were the tasks?
Let's see. You had to receive a vote to access the hunt. Anna, I think, is the only one out of this group, unless Niki did.
No, but Dennis told me a lot about it. So, like, I know that you had to say something, right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, there was, like, a certain phrase you had to say.
And then didn't you like? There was also like you had to be quiet for a certain amount of time as well.
Maybe.
That's what Dennis told me as well.
I know Lola got a vote and then just never went for it.
I did not want to look for idols.
Lola,
I couldn't find shit.
Never did anything. That is correct.
Lola was like, other people will play idols on me. I'm not super worried about this.
Yeah, legit.
It's so funny because I was just like constantly like under fire for shit, and I was just like, you know what? Me going to go on a hunt for something just gonna make my threat level rise, so I'm just gonna just do nothing. If they know that I'm not looking for things, maybe they'll like me.
The Peanut opened my subs, and it was. Oh wait, no, that's challenge gauntlet. Where the heck is the?
It should be before the Lola vote. Should be more.
Up.
More.
More.
There was the Peanut Chad.
Oh yeah, I got like -14 on that one challenge. That was awesome.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, so.
There was time.
Dennis has found the merge idol.
Yep, Dennis found it. Of course.
It was the 4 masters.
Oh yeah, so there was a slide puzzle, a Picto, a jigs. Oh, I was locked out of DMs with Beau for 24 hours.
Oh,
That's so right.
Yep.
That's awful. That's so sad.
And then a jigsaw,
And those were all 1.
and I think that was it. But yeah,
No.
it was. There was something
There
to
was
say
more.
too, right?
Yeah, so there was when you had to train with Roku, that was the puzzles. You had to train with someone else, that was the DMs.
Oh yeah.
Scroll up.
I'm scrolling so fast, but goddamn, there's so many challenges.
I just know that I did the cabbage thing, and then I did secret tunnels.
Secret tunnel.
Secret tunnels.
Secret tunnel.
Secret tunnel. My favorite part of the stamina work.
Okay, so training with Roku, Kiyoshi, Karuk, and Yang Chen.
Yeah.
I don't know why I don't. It's fucking Carl.gg. It's literally going to have the fucking commands I can read. It'd be so much easier.
It would be a lot easier, wouldn't it? But then you also have to
Yeah.
go through every other command we made before or after that. So
Yeah, you could just do the commands. What is it? Command train with Roku, train with if we really want to see what it is. But there were 4 different
I only got through 1, I think.
2. You had the D one as well. One of them was making an alliance, I believe. You did the one where you knocked out of DMs.
Training with Karuk is losing all alliance and tribe chat privileges for 24 hours. Training with the Yang Chen is accepting a DNF on the very next challenge.
I don't think I got that far because Dennis told me he did it.
Training with Kiyoshi means you have to pick a certain player. Basically, hand pick your next 2 votes before the tribal even happens.
Oh, I remember that because Dennis did Lola.
That
Yeah.
fucker.
Yeah, I remember. Oh my god, that was such a
That
annoying.
makes so much more sense
was
why I was
so
constantly
annoying.
being gunned for.
Yeah, Dennis had picked you, and like he was kept going for it, and I'm like, Dennis, it's not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen. He's like, well, then I'm gonna know this. I'm like, it's not happening. And yeah,
It was ridiculous because like those first 2, I forget if it was like the first 2 votes, but that like the first phase of the merge, I had gone up to go to a big Super Smash
the
Brothers
Super Smash
convention.
Bros. Yeah.
Yeah, I was at Super Smash Con, and like I was having the time of my life, but also every time I looked down at my phone, people were like, "Yo, you're being targeted," and I was like, "God damn it! I'm trying to have fun here. I'm sick of being scared."
And that's because Dennis auto voted you for both of those rounds. and
He could
didn't
have
want to be
saved me
wrong.
so much stress by just doing that to Gem or something.
Oh.
Oh wow.
Okay, and then Roku, I think, is interesting. I actually really enjoy this. So it's a 3-stage puzzle. If you fail the first step, you lose DMs with a random person. If you fail the second step, everyone will know that you are doing the idol hunt. And if you fail the third step, basically you're shut out from attempting again for 12 hours.
Because I remember it said something like Dennis is entering the avatar state or something.
Yeah.
And that's how we all knew that people were on it.
Yeah.
I don't think I even like processed that. I was just like, good for him.
But I did.
Go off, Kate.
That's awesome. Good for him.
I think Carl bought like for the DMs. I got Carl bought and Beau. I wasn't allowed to talk to Beau.
Oh yeah, I remember that. And you told me in an alliance chat or something. I don't remember. That was so funny. And you know what? That was one of the things that really made me turn away from wanting to work with Dennis, because Lola was somebody that I had mentioned as being like, I like Lola. Like, this was during the snowy round. And I was like, I like Lola. I'm probably not going to want to vote for Lola for a while. And then the very next round, he tells me, hey, I'm doing the idol hunt. And I had to pick somebody for my next 2 votes. And I pick Lola. But we don't have to do that. But I'm probably going to push it a little bit. And I was like, I literally just told you, I don't want to vote for Lola. And then you picked her anyway. I was like, you could have literally picked anybody. Like, just pick Licity. Like, people would have been okay with that. So that was one of the things that made me not trust Dennis or want to work with him.
Yeah, that decision.
And I would never work with him ever again.
Ha 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 ha. All became besties.
It was so funny. I don't want to go too far ahead.
No, we're jumping ahead. We're missing the best move of the game, the Sarah vote.
Oh yeah.
Fucking, I think it is genuinely the best move of the game, but it hurts so much.
Other
It
than
could have been me though.
I don't care.
yeah,
Sarah.
the extra
Sarah's
vote
my
to
best
break
friend.
a tie vote at final 12 is pretty epic.
Insanity. I cried this time too.
No, Nikki.
That was
I cried a lot.
right. We made that happen.
I don't even think I was like scared. I was just like, if I go out while I'm like watching a Smash Bros tournament, that's actually kind of funny.
This was the start of the conversation of, yeah, you guys are being pagong, so what?
Oh my god.
No, none of us said that.
No,
That
It was okay. No,
Colin.
it was after the vote.
It was
But
after the
genuinely,
vote.
I think this is the very first moment where I'm like, wait, does this season kind of suck? 'Cause I don't know if you guys watched the ranking the Randomvivor seasons. I am vocally, I think, not a fan of this season. And
That's
this is
fair.
the first moment where I do think Colin is in like a very good spot. He's using Licity as a meat shield. He's socially connected to basically everybody, and he's making really smart, informed decisions. And then, ooh, sorry, we're gonna pagong you. That sucks.
This was the closest I've ever been to walking from an org, was when Colin said to my face that I am next, he's going to vote all of us out, and when I asked, what am I going to do? He's like, sorry, I don't know, have fun. Like, I've never been closer to walking before than this. And
oh my god, when he told everyone that you were gonna begone you.
yeah.
He literally just told everyone. I was so upset.
Yeah,
Because I was like,
That is some
and then
insane
me.
fucking behavior. I hope he watches this because I will send in this podcast when we drop it because of this specifically.
I love Colin, but that was just such a crazy move. And it like completely ruined so many people's games.
It
Like
ruined
him
his
quit.
game for sure.
Well, yeah. But no, I mean he immediately made himself like a 0 vote finalist. Everybody was like, yeah, if Colin makes it to the end, I'm not voting for him. And I'm like, it's final 11, what the hell? Yeah, I was so annoyed. I was like, just don't tell them that. Just be like, oh, I don't know what's gonna happen. You know, you can't predict it. Because like low-key, I probably was gonna try and pagong them a little bit, but not like fully, just like 1 or 2 more calderas.
I was in like a really weird position on that because I was the one who fucking picked the tribe. So I couldn't be like, I was like, no, we aren't going to pagong you. But like in my head, I was like, that I wouldn't be too against it. But like,
No, like
at the
you can
same
pagong us. You don't tell us you're gonna pagong us.
Yeah, exactly,
Like, I don't know why Colin
exactly.
said that. That's the thing.
I think I wanted Will and Dennis gone. Those were like my two. I was like, let me get rid of Will and Dennis, and then I can play with Niki. I can play with Wonder. I can play with Kara.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I was furious and like it just.
Oh, Niki, you were so mad.
I was so angry. I came so close to walking because like why would you want to play? But then, he quit, and then I felt really bad about the things I said, and I'm like, damn, sorry.
Well, he had realized that he kind of tanked his game at that point. And I think there was a chance that Colin was going to go that round anyway because of the comments.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was just kind of a preemptive walk.
I wish he had let us do it though, so that we could prove that it wasn't boxing. Because him just quitting made it so that we didn't have to like prove. Oh yeah, we'll vote out a boxing say person.
True.
And if he just hadn't quit, then we would have been able to do that as like a sacrifice, and the game could have reset a little bit.
And I think that this happened. Oh, go ahead. No, I think that this set the tone for the rest of the game because the whole rest of the game, I was terrified of being pagonged. Like the whole time, I was like pagong, 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 and it literally became a conversation every round because of this.
Yeah.
Yeah. So thank you, Colin.
Yeah. Which you guys did end up pagonging, but
we literally didn't. We voted Licity out next.
Yeah, literally.
Oh yeah, look at the final four.
Well, you were there. You were there.
Look at the final three.
wanted to be at the end of my two best friends, Beau and Anna.
Yeah, well, I mean,
like Colin basically said, "Hey, we're gonna pagong," and that had such a strong backlash. They immediately needed to back up and be like, no, we'll take our own people out because like if we don't, you're gonna fucking hate us.
Yeah.
So you immediately take out Colin's number one, which I think is the best move possible. Licity was playing one of the better games at that point.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
She really was. I mean, like if Colin didn't quit, Licity wouldn't have gone home at 10, I don't think.
Correct.
Yeah.
100%.
And it just became such a big thing because, like, now I know that Niki and Dennis are scared of being pagonged. So then I'm like, well, we can't let them get the upper hand because then they'll pagong us. And I mean, my thing was like, it was hard because we had spent so long in the swap tribes that I knew I wanted my final three to include Gem, Anna, Lola, or Colin. Like those were my four that I wanted in the final three. And then like on the same side, I think that Niki, your final three was always going to include like Wonder or Will or Sarah or like somebody that you were swapped with.
Will and Dennis. That was my ideal.
Yeah. So it was tough because it was like, yeah, I'll take out some of the people on my side, but I'm still going to want a final three of people on my side.
Absolutely. Yeah. It's like I said, in every survival game, you can pagong. It's natural. You just don't say it. And that was the thing that was insanity of that entire thing.
Yeah.
Colin.
Yeah, love you, Colin. But you know what? It was giving me such PTSD because in season 6, I felt like I was in a decent, and you and me, Niki, we were in decent spots then. Yeah. And then MK quit, and I feel like you and I were the most affected by MK quitting.
100%.
Niki would have won season 6 if MK did quit. I'll say it right now.
I mean, I will say, yeah, you guys were the most affected game-wise, but personally, I will say Dennis was more affected than either of you, just because Dennis was hated from that point forward.
Yes.
I mean, personally, yes.
I remember Emma and I got into like, probably 2-hour VC, having to talk him off a ledge because he literally did nothing wrong, and MK just straight up threw him under the bus.
MK character assassinated him. He was like, hey, I got to quit from the game because of what Dennis said to me. And then he quit. And I was like, holy shit, what the fuck did Dennis say?
Dennis didn't say anything.
No,
it was insane.
After the season, Dennis showed me the DMs and everything. And I like apologized to Dennis. I'm like, I'm so sorry that this happened. I don't know what the fuck happened. It was
okay, but to be fair, if MK doesn't quit, we are targeting Dennis that round. And I know he had an idol and a
Yes.
swap or whatever,
Yeah.
but like he was already going to be targeted. It just wouldn't be for anything character related. But
Yeah.
like Dennis was always going to get targeted that game
Here's a
because he was
question. If he made
he was
it to the end,
untrustworthy.
I think he gets more votes this way.
If he made it to the end, I still against Bell.
Yeah, let's say the final two. Let's say the season played out the exact same way. Difference being MK doesn't throw him under the bus before he quits.
I think Bell's still win.
Bell played a better game. Dennis needed all his advantages and immunities. He didn't get there socially. Bell got there socially. She had like one immunity win.
Yeah. That's the wrong org, though.
Yeah, let's go back to.
Sorry, wrong season.
I don't want to be here for more than 2 hours.
Yeah.
We're doing good. We're cooking.
God, I love season 6. That's my favorite season I was in.
Yeah, you totally were in that season.
Lola, it was a good season. They had to use a steal a vote to get Bell out. Otherwise, season 6 would have ran the merge.
To be fair,
just
that
wasn't
season
there.
before I even knew Lola. So
Yeah.
I didn't meet Lola until Gabe got them to apply for
Randomvivor, because I got fucking second beer my first Survivor org ever, and I cried. I was like, I need something new. And
we were casted for Broadway. Yeah.
Yeah. And the rest was history.
Unrelated, but Broadway is a season I totally just do again. If I had to pick a season to do again, it's probably Broadway.
Yeah, the fact y'all cast me on the Hunger Games season and not the Broadway season is travesty.
To be fair, I begged last minute because we had so few apps. Like, hey, we hung out very briefly in.
All right, so after the call and quit.
Yes.
Yeah, let's
get
back on topic. Yes. All right.
Well, I don't think there's much else to say about the Licity vote.
No, it was a fallout from the call-in thing.
Yeah.
And Licity was playing a very good game.
Yes.
People thought of her as a threat, and she was never going to win, really, because of that, without a huge immunity run.
Yes.
And you're in a game where you got people like Dennis and Beau and Wonder who can win immunities. So
yeah,
that was never going to happen. But the next vote is very interesting.
I see where we're at.
Single vote item.
Yeah.
So this was my pick for that top 10 Randomvivors moment.
It wasn't that crazy a vote, honestly.
This was
I'm still scrolling. Where are we at?
Top 10 Randomvivor moments. Was this not specifically because the death of old school. That's all I will say.
This game, this vote.
The dramatic death of old school.
I remember where I was when this vote happened.
I remember where it was too. I was at fucking work.
Oh my god.
So
I was at a birthday party.
So what essentially happens is once we merge, Gem gets the full idol from Wonder, blah blah blah. Doesn't really matter anymore. Everyone's pretty much unanimous on Lola.
Yes.
Everyone is unanimous on Lola. And Gem says, hold up. Gives Lola her idol.
Yep.
And, well, I don't know if this is accurate. Did you have free reign to pick anyone?
I mean, I was told to vote for Kara. I could have not done that, but I felt it was in my best interest to vote for Kara there.
Yeah, it probably. So yeah, Kara keeps placing lower and lower every single time she plays. If you guys waited around, it would have been 2 down every single time.
Wow.
But
sorry, we need to do it right then.
Well, hold on. Part of it was that we wanted to take the shot at Dennis, but we knew he had at least one idol. And so if we only put one vote out there, Dennis would idol and it would go to 0.
And he did play his idol that round.
He did.
Yeah.
His first.
He did flush his idol.
Mm-hmm.
I forget if I was like taunting him to do that. I might have been.
You
play his idol.
Lola, you told Dennis to play the idol on you after you had already played an idol on you.
Oh wait, I So I was convinced that so during this time, Lola played the idol, and Dennis and I were talking, and I'm like, Dennis, they're coming for me. They're coming for me. Play it for me. And he's like, okay, I will. And he played it on his fucking self. And I was so angry because he had said he was going to play it for me and then apologized. It didn't matter. But we had thought they were playing it on me because they knew I was close with Dennis. And yeah.
All right. Let's move on.
You were the other option, Niki. I was just surprised that nobody else, like everyone just expected it to go 8-1 on Lola and nobody like threw Niki.
No.
Especially because Wonder had Kara at number 2 on her trust rankings at that point. So I was like, Wonder is for sure gonna try and flip this and put a vote on like me or Jam. And then she just didn't. I don't know why.
Did you guys play the mirror boba that round?
No, we played a couple rounds later and it didn't do anything. That advantage was hard as fuck, by the way. Just because you had to play it 12 hours early and you don't know if you're getting the votes or not.
Yeah.
It's hard to balance that advantage.
It's the reflecting. We can't have it played any later with the votes being reflected.
So
no, I get it. It was just difficult.
Can we now talk about what I think is maybe the worst round in Randomvivor history?
Oh my god.
Worst
yeah,
the funniest round. Yeah.
We have the
Niki loses the game round.
Niki loses the game round.
I think if we break it down, I think Lola is the only player who this kind of like of the players who make FTC. I think Lola's not super hurt by it because she's still in very good standings with Wonder and Niki and even Dennis, debatably.
This is the worst, but due to gameplay circumstances.
Wait, I think like after this round was the round that Dennis just started talking to me about stuff. So I think that tracks.
Yeah, at this point, I wasn't Lola's biggest fan, but Dennis adored Lola, and that scared me around this time.
So
yeah, after Lola played the idol, she never got targeted again. I don't think.
They were scared.
I threw one vote at Final 7.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's right.
But we'll get to that.
Yeah.
And she was the option to be voted out at Final 4 if you guys flipped. I guess technically it could have been anyone, but that is who Niki ended up voting.
Yeah.
So for the lovely viewers, all like 2 of you who've lasted this far who forgot, this is where Will goes home because he is quote unquote inactive. Despite him putting, I believe it was a message in an alliance chat.
Yes.
Like 5 minutes beforehand.
As we were pinging him during that last 10 minutes, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And again, I think I am incredibly biased.
We gave him 2 minutes after the deadline for the record.
Yeah. Wonder is one of my best friends. I think Niki has played like some of the 2 of the best Randomvivor games of all time. I think this is the move that kind of tanks the season because you have this like genuine comeback of the Overdog Alliance slowly picking themselves apart, and there's a chance that some kind of upset. And Will just doesn't show up despite being relatively available, and it has angered me for a year now that
he said
lost the whole season.
He said something in tribe chat like 15 minutes prior to the vote.
No.
And I used my extra vote that I had since the beginning of the game.
Yeah.
It's not meant
to. It would have worked.
It would have worked perfectly.
It sucks. It sucks because it prevented such a big move that would have made the season like really good.
It would have shot my rankings if this move
say
went
that
through.
the outcome was bad, but it would have just made the ending game less predictable. Because there's a chance that someone like Anna or Lola could have snuck into Final Tribal anyway. But with Gem staying, it kind of sealed the deal.
Yeah.
However, I think this move actually hurt Dennis a lot too because he had the idol and he would have had the numbers.
Yeah.
I don't know. He still probably doesn't have the win equity, but
no.
I feel
do
like
think it's
Dennis
a better game
and
to do
Wonder.
six.
Yeah, I feel like Dennis and Wonder still would go home before FTC.
Yes, because Will and
do
I
think
wanted Dennis gone.
Yeah.
maybe I'm wrong. I think that, like, if Will shows up, Niki wins.
Yeah,
I think that. I
I can
agree.
see it. I definitely see it.
Because I think that it's probably Niki, Will, and then one of the three of us.
Mhm.
And yeah.
Me, not me. Probably not me.
It was, I don't know, it could have been. I don't think it would have been Beau.
It
I
probably
think
Anna.
it probably was
Yeah.
going to be Anna.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But it was going to 100% be Will. Will and I will, like, he was my final two at least.
I think the one hard theoretical is that there's a chance that the voting block, like Jembo, Lola, would probably, but Jembo, Lola, Anna would probably vote whoever was in the final three of that.
Yeah.
There's a chance of that, but I also like to think all of them would vote for a good game.
I mean, I think Anna had a good game. I think if I was on the jury and Anna didn't vote me out, I'm probably voting Anna over Niki or Will. For sure over Will. I think Will's the 0 vote finalist in that circumstance.
Yes.
I think it could have been interesting between me and Niki.
It would have been
Yeah.
Niki win on a Will tiebreaker, or if he's a 0 vote finalist, a Niki win 5-4.
It would have been really cool. That would have been so much fun.
It would have been interesting. What could have been?
Damn, Will. Damn.
You hear that, Will?
However, the outcome of that tribal was delayed by 1 round. Jem ended up going the next round because
Yep.
Oh, that charming dentist and his idol plays.
and
That charming dentist.
I mean, but
he was well placed. Beau and Jem kind of put that in there to save her, Jem or Beau, in case it was a unanimous idol.
oh no, I didn't want the vote to be on Lola. I wanted it to be on Niki because I was like, even if it was just a 1-1 on Lola Jem still goes home because now Niki, Dennis, and Wonder have the power over Anna and I. But my phone died, and so I didn't get to tell them, no, don't put the vote on Lola, put the vote on Niki.
No,
and I mean, like,
it's my birthday.
I know it was your birthday, but like, you know, it's the game.
Ouch.
Hey, listen, I stayed on my birthday, so I owed it to
Yeah.
stay on her birthday.
No, that was a crazy round too.
Well, yeah. Even still, it was only 1 vote. We need to put 2 votes somewhere.
Yeah.
It's so funny. Oh, sorry. You go ahead.
No, you're fine. Dennis and I talked a long time the next. I'm 1 round ahead. Sorry. Anyways, go ahead.
Yeah, it's so funny because, like, it was such an innocuous, like, hinky vote, but I fucking, like, went goddamn crazy over it. Like, I literally was, like, fill tool, not fill tool, but, like, I was using, like, the color picker to figure out, like, the handwriting and, like, all that stuff to try and figure out who the fuck voted for me.
Oh, I remember that.
Oh, and
I was fucking detectiving the shit out of that, and I was like, I can't believe Anna would do this to me. I'm gonna go team up with Dennis and take her out.
That was Lola's Rupert era.
Yeah.
Wasn't me. I didn't do it. What?
That was great.
Oh, that was a funny thing. Cause yeah, I knew Anna had voted for you, and I was just chilling.
Yeah. And I was like, I can't believe this. What would Jem think about this? And then I learned later that Jem was the one who fucking tried to do it. God, I was fucking like, I was going nuts.
Next round was my round. The Dennis vote out.
The Dennis vote. We finally have a fucking
crying.
successful idol play.
And then fucking Dennis guilt tripping me like
the whole time.
I can't believe that I was fucking crying over Dennis. That shit was crazy.
he played the guilt trip so hard that round.
Like, look, I'm so very disappointed in your decisions here. It didn't need to end like this on my thing. God.
We
What was
talked for a long time. He was trying to get on my eyes, and I was like, I don't know.
Niki, did we cover why you voted for Dennis at the final 7?
I think it was because I think Dennis had just pissed me off probably. But I think what happened is Jem gave me a really good point or something like that, and I don't know why, but I knew Dennis was going to play the idol. I mean, of course he was going to, but I was hoping he wouldn't, and hoping that like I could tell Dennis that he was going to go, and I could be the best of both worlds, like Hannah Montana. It's probably but I don't know. Dennis and I at this point were not friends, so I was probably just done being guilt tripped, honestly. Which is likely why I voted for him.
I was trying to do so much this round to get Dennis to stay because that was my guy. I think I was like trying to.
your one round guy?
And I was like, oh wait, can we vote for Niki actually or something like that?
Yeah.
I was just trying to make it work and it just did not, and I felt so bad because I wanted my goddamn final 2 go with me.
Well, the round that Dennis went, and please correct me if I'm wrong, I think the challenge was something where we had to all like kind of there was a grid and we had to cut each other off.
Oh yeah, that
and
grid.
I was actively walking against. I was talking to Wonder, and Wonder and I were actively making sure Dennis did not win immunity.
Me too.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and you were too. Like we were all actively trying to make sure he didn't win, so that it all worked. And I don't think Dennis ever found that out. But then he gave me like, and I remember he texted me, he's like, "You just lost me the game." I'm like, "Oops, I did."
Oh yeah, speaking of immunity challenges, I did not win a single fucking immunity challenge this entire season. I'm still sad about that.
Who? Was I in my challenge beast era? Thank you very much.
No.
Yeah.
Like a million peanut pennies or whatever, though.
Yeah.
No, but it's crazy because like I literally I just got out of another org and I didn't win any immunity challenges there either. I think my record's like 1-29, and my one win is the first immunity challenge is Randomvivor season 7.
Oh.
One day though, it'll happen.
One day.
One day.
The
And I will
thing
pop
that
off
was
so much I will fucking die. My heart will stop.
the thing that always made me laugh, well, that was making me laugh about the Dennis round is that entire time I hear about how he's trying to flip this person to this person, this person to this person. And Dennis never messaged me once that whole day to try and get me to help save him or anything. And I was like, dude, you're completely leaving one vote on you, like for sure. And I'm probably the person that was pushing Dennis the most. Yeah. So it was just crazy to me that he never tried with me.
It wasn't this round. It was much earlier. But I remember he's like, "Niki, no one's talking to me." I'm like, "Aren't you ignoring everyone?" He's like, "Yeah, but still." And that just encapsulates Dennis's game. That was true. But yeah, he's gone.
Yeah.
And this was also his last org.
Yeah.
Did he retire?
I also
Yeah, I think he
I
retired.
also want to say that I think that if Jem does go home at final 8, I think Will still might go home at final 7 because Wonder wanted to vote Will out, and so if Wonder just flips to me and Lola, then Will goes. And I was obviously going to play the mirror boba there, and I think that they would have voted for me. So I think Will still probably would have gone, and then the rest of the game kind of plays out similarly.
Yeah.
So, final 6, beaten dead. Final 5, Wonder goes unanimously.
Yep.
Obviously, Niki.
Oh yeah.
Niki, would you have voted Wonder out if you knew that it could be flipped?
If it could be flipped, so I thought Wonder was the best player and that Wonder was the biggest thing. So I probably would have still. Actually, no. I think I would have saved Wonder because I think Wonder would have taken me to FTC.
I think if I didn't win the immunity, I think I might go home.
I would agree. At least that was our plan. That was our
Right.
plan. And I think we voted. Wonder knew I was voting for her, very much so, and because we couldn't find a crack. But Wonder, I knew Wonder was going to beat me, or I thought that I did.
It was like we're amicable and social, but like we were never really close during the game at all. In the long run, like in the grand scheme of things, like I think she was like mid in my trust ranking, but
Anna, Lola had you at like number 3 for almost the whole merge.
oh,
Wait, me?
No, Anna. Or not Lola, sorry, Wonder. Wonder had you at number 3 for like the whole merge.
yeah, there was.
Yeah, because I definitely didn't.
We were like I don't know, like a mid, you know what I mean? Like we weren't like ride or dies, but
Yeah. I mean, I kind
we vibed.
Oh, go ahead. Yeah, I kind of wanted Wonder to stay at Final 5 just because I was like, she will be, if I didn't win Final 4, I was like, Wonder is somebody that would be easier to vote out than Niki. But nobody wanted to vote for Niki, so I can vote Niki out at 5. And I wasn't going to vote out Anna or Lola.
I think my one big regret is that I fucking wish that I did not let Wonder join Caldera instead of Boston Say. Because that entire fucking merge, I was trying to work with Wonder so much, and it just did not happen every single time. And I was so frustrated because Wonder's my fucking goat. And I'm like, Wonder, please work with me. I want to work with you so badly, but we just never collided.
Okay, real quick then. If you don't want Wonder on Caldera, who do you take instead?
I don't know. That's a toughie. Because I know Snowy really wanted Wonder as well. I don't know. Probably like Brit or something. I don't know.
That changes things.
Or maybe Lindsay.
That changes things too.
Yeah.
Change when
I'd
things
be
change,
curious to
Ross.
see Lindsay on that tribe. I really do wonder if she would have done better.
She probably would have. But yeah, by the end, I was like, I'm sorry, Wonder. I would not be making a smart decision if I kept you here. And like, I don't know. It was very bittersweet because I don't know. Wonder is someone who is very wonderful and nice and just...
That's how she gets you.
Well, I will fall for that shit for like pretty much anybody. It's like I'm very easy. It's very easy to like make me. I don't know. I'm trying to like find the right words here, but if like
You're very loyal.
Like if I really like someone's energy, I will be incredibly loyal.
Yeah. I felt you were very loyal the entire game. Like you were. I probably hadn't almost. Besides Jem, you were the only person that I was like, Lola will never turn on me.
Yeah. What? Yep.
And then you didn't. Or maybe you might have at Final 4, you said?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, brat.
I wanted that so bad.
I needed those 2 immunities, I know it.
Mm-hmm.
No.
So, Final 4, penultimate round. Niki goes.
Yeah.
Ooh.
All right, we can. Kidding.
It would have been me.
All right, Niki. Any final words before we kick you from the call? Since we're at your round.
Lola still makes the best parchments ever. Always.
Listen, I peaked in season 7. Honestly,
You did.
my recent ones have been
Literally
kind
the
of bad.
best. It's the only parchment I've ever saved, and it's like favorited on my phone. I love it. No, I knew I was. I mean, it was completely obvious. I knew I was going, but like I didn't think. Ever since Will vote, I didn't really see much hope. So I was just here to have fun, and yeah, it was good. And then Nico and the baby had an alliance, and that made me happy.
Oh yeah.
Nico Brady Alliance.
I will
Yeah.
say I think it could have changed my game. I was genuinely thinking about at least tying the vote there. But
Yes. Yeah, I had a really long conversation with Anna about it, and I didn't know what was going to happen. I was going to be shocked if it worked, but I was trying every single move. I wasn't going to go down easy.
If Anna gave you the tie, and you went to fire and lost, would you have voted for Anna to win, or would you have still voted for Beau?
Oh, if Anna had done that for me, I 100% would have voted for Anna.
So if that happened, Lola would have won the game.
No.
Wow.
That would have
Wait,
been.
what happened? Wait, hold on. I wasn't paying attention.
Whoa.
That would have been contingent.
Lola win. I don't know why I turned on my camera. Hold on.
That would
Wait,
have
how
been.
did that happen? Wait, I'm sorry.
Insane.
I
Okay.
blanked out for like a good minute.
All right, Lola, real quick. This is theoretical because it would require you winning a comp, but
Oh my god.
Buddy.
if
Whoa.
Anna tied the vote and you and Niki squared off in fire, you win, Niki goes to jury and votes for Anna, and then you win in a 4-3-2.
Ah, man. Ah, dang. Well, I would have lost.
And
I would have lost that fire.
And I would have won the game.
Nikki's fucking good at challenges, and I'm not.
I'm still a goat.
Embrace the grind set. Start going hard at those jigsaws.
Yeah.
I'm
I think-
trying, though. I'm trying.
The only
I think it's even crazier than that, because I think if Anna had given Niki fire, Niki loses. Niki and I think Wonder might have voted Anna at that point, because Wonder was really big on wanting somebody to give Niki fire. So then it becomes
good point.
Then it becomes a 3-3-3 where Licity does vote for Lola, and Lola wins there too. But just saying,
Oh my god.
3-3-3 would have been crazy.
Winning a comp, though, so you can't really take it too seriously.
That is true. And if Niki wins, I'm pretty sure Niki just wins the season.
in the more likely scenario where Niki beats Lola in fire, Niki just wins.
Yeah, and I'm mad, and I'm very mad at Anna.
Yeah, that would have ruined my. The biggest reason I didn't tie it is because at that point I was so close to Beau and Lola. You know, like at that.
Yeah.
Like
We had been talking about that final three for a minute, and like it had some bumps, but then it came back around.
And I think that was the big thing. I am a loyal player, so at that point, like as Niki and I vibed, and I genuinely was considering it. I also knew like my loyalties were already kind of set in stone.
Yeah, I think it would have hurt your speech because you're talking all about loyalty and then you backstab your two people by giving me fire. Like, I think it would have hurt your speech a little bit if you had done that as well.
I'm a loyal player, but Lola had it coming.
There was a crazy part of me where if I felt like either Anna or Lola was going to give fire to Niki, I was going to give up the immunity necklace and be like, send me to fire against Niki instead.
That would have been gagged. I would have gone crazy.
You have to turn you before the 12-hour mark of tribal.
Oh, really? Before the 12? Well, I mean, I didn't know that, but like that was what I was considering when actually it never really felt like to me Anna or Lola were wavering, so I didn't like heavily consider it, but that was a thought that I did have if one of them was wavering.
So we're at FTC.
Yeah.
Yay.
Basically over. I don't know how much y'all want to talk about your FTC performance. Obviously, Lola, it was your first. I don't know, Anna, if it was your first. There's no way it's Beau's first.
No. That was my third. That was my third FTC and also my worst FTC. Like, hands down, FTC was the worst part of my game. Like, I completely sold my game in the wrong way, and it caused people like Licity to gun for me hard. Like, Licity hated me, and I know that had been festering on the jury for a long time, but I think if I had come at FTC in a different way, where I was more upfront in how villainous the game was, then maybe Listy isn't quite as pissed.
Licity was always voting for Lola.
Yeah,
Right. I just mean the vitriol with which she attacked me. I mean, I don't know if it came across like that to you guys, but from my perspective, I was like, wow, Licity hates me, and I was probably the person who wanted to vote her out least at Final 10. Out of all the other 9 players, I'm the one who wants to vote her out the least, but I'm the one that gets the most blame for her going home.
Oh, I understand that completely. Like, I do feel like Licity was, like, going on, like, way stronger than she really needed to.
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of hard to, like, conflict on that, because, like, it was an argument for why I deserve to win. And I just can't be like, no, hold on, Licity. Well, let's not go that far.
Yeah, I didn't really want either of you to stick up for me, because I know that's not, like, your place, and you gotta be playing your games, but I was just like, damn, Licity. Like, she was just making it very personal. And, like, I love Licity, and we're friends now, but she was making it very personal in a way that was like, this has nothing to do with the game. You're, like, she said that I platonically love bombed her, and I was like, whoa, I don't even really know what that means.
Yeah, I don't know what that means either. That's a crazy... Like, what?
Yeah. So, yeah, I definitely think that my FTC was bad. I had a bad FTC, and I won in spite of it, not because of it.
I don't know if any of y'all had a stellar FTC, and I say that with love, but I would say the vast majority of the jury already knew where they were going to, so the questions weren't that great and didn't give you guys the opportunity to really be able to defend the game and everything like that.
I agree with that. I feel like I wasn't asked questions about the game at all.
No,
like,
I would agree.
No offense to the jury, but they were like super bitter and very opinionated from the beginning. Like, I don't think there was really any swaying any of them.
It was a I don't want to call it a bad jury. Sorry to the jurors when you listen to this, but it was a very opinionated jury that was, like I said, not swayed.
I wouldn't be shocked if a big part of it was from the Colin situation. If that just kind of like soured everybody, where the final 3 ended up being the Pagongers, even if it was like the narrative was mostly demolished.
Yeah.
So I think, go ahead, Anna.
It was my first final tribal, so I didn't really, like, I've been on a lot of juries, but I haven't been on the receiving end, and so I know it definitely probably wasn't my best, showing. I was shocked that I got 1 vote, but
shout out Kara.
I know, love you, Kara. Thanks. But yeah, like we just said, like, I just think the whole jury knew from day 1.
Yeah, you guys weren't given a fair hand, and I think you did really good with what you had, but the joy was bitter, the joy was rough, and so I think there were a few people you could have swayed. But.
I already roasted the jury. I'm going to roast the finalists, too. Probably some of the worst overall final tribal performances I've seen, because you all had the opportunity to earn people's votes and didn't.
Hey, I earned Sarah's vote.
It was my first time.
Same.
But it was like crazy because you didn't, like, Anna started out so strong. People loved her speech, and then the questioning, it felt like she got brutalized. Beau already commented on his stuff. Lola, yours wasn't your final tribal wasn't bad, but you were too happy.
I was having so much fun.
I was low-key starting to resent Lola because I was like, my God, this is like the softest FTC grilling I've ever seen. Licity and Dennis just being like, Lola is the shit, and I don't know why y'all even thought you had a chance.
That
drove
me insane. That drove me insane.
I disliked because it felt like they weren't giving Lola credit in a good way. They like babied her a little bit in the
Yes, it felt very infantilizing.
You know what? Acknowledge them for being a good game player. Don't just say, "Oh, you're so sweet. I love you." It's like they just wanted to, like you said, underhand pitch a softball. And, Lola deserved a little more respect than that. 100%. I mean, the vote was nice, I'm sure, Lola.
Yeah, I appreciated, like, positive conversation, but I do agree that like part of it could have been like interpreted as like it's like, oh yeah, Lola's just a sweet young lady. Dude, just give like the unassuming girl the win or whatever. I do think well, Dennis had told me that I like was playing a good game that he respected, and like I think he meant that. And I'm sure Felicity felt the same in some capacity, but I do understand like the sort of like like the loud voices can be a bit of a turnoff.
I do think too, like some of the people like just didn't like the way Beau and I played either. So
Yeah, they were just upset that they were on the losing side of things, and I was like, damn, somebody's gotta be though, yo.
I'm just happy I got Wonders though. That was the big win.
I was so mad at Wonder for not voting me. The duality of man. No, but I mean, there were some comments that were just kind of crazy to me because, like, I read Pondy afterward, and Dennis saying things like, "Oh, Lola's not even really that loyal to you and Beau, Gem. She's just doing it because it's working out for her." And I'm like, first off, you have no way of knowing that, and second, no, she legit is just loyal to us. Like, what do you mean? Yes, it's working for her, but she's also loyal to us. So just the crazy assertions that nobody else was playing, and Lola was like fooling all of us. And I was like, Lola was just our alliance member. She wasn't fooling us.
Yeah.
Listen, you don't understand, Beau. I was fucking masterminding everybody's game and their demise and whatnot.
Lola was like in the chair puppeteering everyone like marionettes. It was great.
That is how Dennis was.
That's what Dennis was saying. That's what
Dennis respected my game because he was scared of me.
Sorry.
I'm just kidding. I love you, Dennis.
No, I mean, yeah, no. That literally was what it felt like. Dennis was just. I was like, that's not even a game that Lola said she was playing in her speech. She's saying she played the underdog UTR nice person. Like in his mind, he just made up a whole game that you played, and I was like, okay, I don't know how to fight against this.
Played that game. That sounds awesome.
Yeah, it's a cool game. I mean, you would have been more villainous than me if you had played that game, but.
You just gotta find an org. Gotta find an org.
An org where no one knows you.
Yeah, maybe. Actually, I'd probably
just get an alt.
Yeah, just play as an alt.
Look around, find out.
All right, hear me out, Peanut. Lola on flops versus finalists.
Well, no comment.
I think what you do is you do fans versus fault stars or whatever, and it's like players who are playing under alts, and you got to decode who's who.
It's really funny because this account that I use was initially an alt account. It was initially an alt account that I used for I don't know if you heard of it. It's a 10 words of wisdom, Allstars. And I was just like, and then I joined like a circle org on this same account, and then I just started joining more orgs on this account, and this just became my main. And I was like, this is my life now.
Yeah.
Maybe I just use my old account. Maybe they won't know.
That's funny. All right. So is that everything?
I think that is.
Sure.
yeah.
Oh my God! Just under 2 hours, we actually did it. Everyone,
That was a great podcast. That was a great podcast, y'all.
give yourselves a round of applause because holy shit, we actually did it.
Snaps.
It's been 4 hours for season 9.
Yeah, fucking psychopaths.
Now
That's
get
'cause
ready
you
for
had
the
Wonder.
filibuster.
You had Wonder.
Wonder kept herself up until 4 a.m.
It's okay. We get a tea sesh after this, after we're all done.
Oh.
True.
Well,
All right. Well, on that note, thank you all for watching. If anyone made it this far, I really doubt anyone does. If you do, I don't know, ping us. Sure.
Secret
Yeah,
tunnel.
thanks.
Yeah.
Secret tunnel.
Secret tunnel. Secret tunnel.
All this.
All right.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Why am I waving?